Joining us now is Republican Senator from Alaska, Dan Sullivan. He serves on the Senate Armed Services, Commerce, Science and Transportation, and the Environment and Public Works Committees. You're a busy man. Thanks so much for joining us
to be here,
on
Aisha.
this Saturday afternoon. Let's start with the China tensions happening right now. We've got this back and forth going on between the two administrations over this call with President Biden on whether or not he brought up human rights issues. China says he didn't. And now we've got the speaker on her way to Asia, possibly touching down in Taiwan. Do you think she's actually helping the president's posture when it comes to our policy with China?
Well, look, at this point, if the speaker goes, I think you're going to see a lot of bipartisan support for the trip. Okay. I certainly will be supportive of her trip, and I think you're going to see evidence of a lot of senators supporting it. And here's why. We cannot let the Chinese Communist Party dictate where senior American officials travel. I was in Taiwan last year with a bipartisan group of U.S. senators. American senior officials, including previous speakers of the House, have traveled to Taiwan for decades. And right now, you know, there's a lot of things the speaker has done that I don't agree with, but I think it's time for Americans to close ranks on this ability to travel to Taiwan, which we do regularly, and not let the Chinese Communist Party dictate where Americans go.
Do you think this is a make or break moment, though? Do you think China looks at this, if she does touch down in Taiwan and perhaps decides maybe we don't invade Taiwan in the next 18 months and maybe back off a little bit and wait?
Well, look, China always has blustering language when anybody goes to Taiwan. After my trip, they spent 2 days attacking me and the two U.S. senators that I traveled with, both of whom were Democrats. And I think you have to look at what's going on more broadly with regard to China in Taiwan. This is what dictatorships do, Aisha. As you know, Xi Jinping is having some significant domestic problems right now. He is trying in the 20th Party Congress in November to be essentially declared dictator for life. And
this is a good strategic move for him domestically.
And I think a lot of times you look at history, whether it's Hitler or Putin, they create international crises to bring their citizens together to kind of divert attention from what's happening at home.
Let's quickly pivot to inflation, our domestic issues at home. We have so many. Democrats have this new spending bill, at least it's called the Manchin-Schumer bill. They say it's going to reduce inflation. The Penn-Wharton analysis disagrees. We still don't know where Senator Sinema stands on this. And now Democrats are worried they're going to lose GOP support on some of their other agenda items. Here's Representative Brian Schatz just yesterday.
They tanked a bill to take care of veterans who are experiencing the bad health effects from burn pits, and now we're hearing they may tank gay marriage to punish us. So I think it's really, really cynical strategy, but I also think just politically it's going to backfire.
So I got to ask you, is the GOP trying to tank the Democrats' agenda, including bills that might have seen bipartisan support?
No, we're not at all. But look, here's what's happening. The Biden stagflation has arrived in America. Record inflation. We're now in a recession, 2 quarters of shrinking GDP growth. And the people who are bearing the brunt of that are the American working class, American working families. And what this legislation looks to do is exactly the wrong thing. More spending, raising taxes as we're in a recession, and of course, the Democrats' favorite policy, which is to go after the American energy sector. This is going to create more harm at home, and it's not going to do anything with regard to global climate emissions. So we're not doing what Brian Schatz just said. We are actually trying to help the American working class prevent more damage to our economy, to job prospects. And again, Aisha, one thing that is clear to us is that the stagflation that we're seeing right now has been a self-inflicted wound by the policies of the Biden administration and the Democrats in Congress.
Senator, can I ask you specifically, though, about the PACT Act?
Yeah.
It is such an important bill for veterans that have been exposed to burn pits.
Yeah.
Bipartisan support. It passed for a procedural vote a month ago.
Yep.
And now we're waiting on an amendment vote that's going to come on Monday. Leader Schumer's promised that. But people are upset. People are very angry, including Jon Stewart. If we have a bite, let's play that because I want to get the senator's response.
Ain't this a America's heroes who fought in our wars, battling all kinds of ailments, while these sit in the air conditioning, walled off from any of it. They don't have to hear it.
So if this amendment fails on Monday, you need 60 votes. Are you still going to vote no for this bill?
No, look, I've been one of the leaders on toxic exposure issues for years in the Senate, right? I'm on the Veterans Affairs Committee, Armed Services Committee. I'm still serving myself as a colonel in the U.S. Marines. So I have been focused on toxic exposure for years. When the PACT Act passed last time, I supported it. But the procedural votes moving forward on the act, I opposed some of them so we could get amendments that we were promised.
But has the legislative text changed?
That we were promised to get to make the bill better. So that is exactly what we are trying to do right now on the procedural votes. These are bills like we did a month ago to try to get amendments to actually improve the bill. And so that's where I am.
So you're saying you're a yes vote. If it comes up for a vote again and this amendment fails, but it comes up for a vote again, you'll vote yes?
Yes, I'm definitely.
All right.
I mean, I was a yes vote last time, but here's the issue.
We got to go, Senator.
On some of these procedural issues, what we're trying to do is improve the bill. But at the end of the day, I've been a strong supporter of this, and I will be again.
Understand. Thank you so much for joining us. So appreciate a lot to get to. Thank you so much, Greg.